Good evening, everybody. We are coming to you from Penny Pincher Farm headquarters. Today is the day. We have special guests with us, guys. Today we have Mr. Alex Wilson, Doug, and McGuire Wilson. These are owner-operators of Sturgeon Creek Farms out of Tyner, Kentucky, right down the road. This is the day that we've been telling you guys about, getting the bull brought down, and they've turned him loose, and he has already, I think he's made himself at home already. We'll leave it at that. But guys, we told you these dudes right here had a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the genetic side of cattle. And this bull that we've got, what did we say his name was?
Carlson.
Carlson, there you go. Hereford, that's an English brand, right? So that'll be just right. That's fitting, Carlson. Mr. Carlson went down to the pond to get him something to drink. But until he gets back, guys, Alex brought his paperwork with him and just a little redneck education. It's very important when you're buying bulls for your herd or you're leasing bulls to breed to your cows. It's very important, guys, to look at their EPDs, look at their numbers, look at what you're pretty well test driving your car before you buy it, in simple terms. But Alex has got his papers right here, and Alex, if you wouldn't care, just hit some of the highlights. Give us just detail us in on some of these numbers right here that we got.
So a couple things that really stand out with this bull is, number one, you see the weaning weight and yearling weight just jumping off the page. Those are both top 1%, right?
The weaning weight and the yearling weight is right here, WW and YW, right?
Yep.
Highlighted?
Yep.
Okay.
And you can see right here, his weaning weight is a 77, and that's blood tested. You know, that's not just a prediction.
Okay.
That's showing already, basically, with calves on the ground, what they're going to do.
Okay.
And when you get these babies on the ground next year, they are going to grow like wildfire.
Okay. Well, that's what we like.
So you've got weaning weight at 77, the breed average is 53. And so you're showing right there on a big group of calves, basically, you know, over 20 points right there. It's noticeably going to be a difference when you put those calves up to wean them.
So you say breed average. So we're talking the breed, the Hereford breed as a whole is at 55, and this particular bull is at 77, as you said? So
77.
This bull, as far as, what are we talking about? Weaning weight or yearling weight? Weaning weight.
Those are pounds on calves.
Pounds on your calves when you go to wean them. He's ahead of the breed, guys. So he's in the top percentile of the Hereford breed as far as weaning weight goes, that's how we sell our calves, is by their weight. And so the more weight equals more dollars.
And you're already going to have these black baldies on these black cows. I mean, and that's already a premium. And the heavier they are, look at what you got. And
that's right.
And this is just mind-blowing. He's 129 on his yearling weight. And anybody who looks in like semen catalogs, you just don't find Herefords with that yearling weight. That is a gigantic number.
Okay.
And the breed average is 86.
So he's well above the breed average.
And I'll tell you,
50 pounds.
And I'll tell you about him. We bought him at the Lexington sale, I guess,
a year ago in December.
Yep. We bought him as basically a 6-month-old calf, and we picked him out because of his EPDs.
There you go.
And we brought him back, and we had him with some of our black Angus bulls that were really nice calves. And the moment that he went on feed, oh my gosh, he just blew up. And that shows based on his EPDs, and that's what those calves are going to do.
Well, I will say this: we bought him thinking he was an AI product, artificial insemination.
Right.
And we pulled the blood. He hadn't had any blood pulled on him, and any DNA testing. We sent it in, and it didn't match up. And so I called the farm, and basically they took care of it and everything. So he actually came back as a calf out of one of their herd bulls, one of the farm bulls, and not the AI calf. So that's another thing that we look at too. If you've got any question whatsoever, and we did the same thing on an Angus bull, and when I called the farm there, the guy said, "I am sorry." He said, "I had two cows came in heat, and I had my farm manager do the breeding, and I've got them backwards. And so the very minute we switched over to the other bull, so it was an AI, but it just wasn't an AI bull. And to tell you the truth, he came back with better numbers than the bull
there you go.
Hey,
Hey,
so
that'll
we
work.
started off for a couple of days being a little bit disappointed, then we got the numbers back, and we're like, oh, well, you know what? It's okay.
There you go.
But one thing that I have figured out on when you pull DNA samples, and you can pull them. We've been pulling on our embryo calves this year. We pulled blood the day they were born, and so before they were a month of age, we had numbers on them equivalent to if a bull had 15 steers already slaughtered and hanging in a cooler,
Right.
or you got 20 heifers that have weaned calves off them. I mean, the information that's out there is just absolutely staggering.
And then a couple more EPDs, and this one to me is just really impressive. Carcass weight. And a lot of people right now are slaughtering their own cattle and they're selling freezer beef or maybe just eating it for themselves. And what you want is you want a heavy carcass, right?
That's right.
You can have a heavy animal, but it's about how heavy is that hanging carcass.
How much muscle is on that?
That's right.
Is on that skeleton.
And we all love steaks. That's why we're in the business. And he is in the top 1% for carcass weight. That is a big deal.
That's money maker.
That's a big deal.
For redneck language such as myself, you call that money maker.
Yeah. And any of you guys right now, whether it be in this area or just anybody who watches this video, if you are marketing beef that you are growing, you have got to focus on that carcass weight because that is money in your pocket, guys.
Absolutely.
So just on averages right here, the breed average for Hereford is a 67 on carcass weight. He's 95. So he is like blowing the competition out of the water.
Best of the best.
Weight. And then, just like Angus, there are dollar indexes that basically combine a whole bunch of EPDs together. And this kind of simplifies it for...
It summarizes.
It summarizes it so that you might not necessarily understand all the EPDs, but you can look at these dollar indexes and say, well, I can tell if the dollar indexes are good, it's a complete animal. So we've got the BMI, and that's the black baldy maker. And everybody in the part of the world that we're at, what's the premium dollar at the sale barn? Black baldies.
Yep. You get a black animal with a white head, that's your baldy.
That's your baldy, right?
That's not Holstein.
Right, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, not milk stock.
And so it takes into account all these different EPDs, right? And in terms of making black baldy calves, whether you want to grade them out through, slaughterhouse, or if you're keeping females, it does both. But the breed average is 352 on that, and he's 390. So what that shows you, and that's based on dollars, he's basically going to make you $40 extra a calf.
Without you doing anything.
Without you doing anything.
Yeah, that's just simply by choosing this bull over another.
That bull
That's right.
over another.
That's it.
On the breed average.
Yep, that's
The
it, guys.
average bull.
And I mean, even on a small farm like this, $40 a head matters to you.
Absolutely. If
It
you're
don't matter
just
what size farm.
exactly,
right.
yeah.
And you ask, well, how is that so? I mean, when you start taking into account your weaning weights,
Absolutely.
your yearling weights, if you're keeping those females for the next year's replacements,
$40 would cover the vet bill for the calf and the calf's mommy for a year.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that's like getting free health care.
Yeah, yeah. This is Medi-Cal air.
And then the certified Hereford beef. This is the version in Angus. It's called, what is it called, Dad?
It's certified Angus.
Well, it's certified Angus.
Yeah.
It's basically the same name. But what this is for the simple man is what's under that carcass.
Right.
Grading choice.
Yep. Grading choice.
Choice or better.
So it's taking into account the carcass weight, it's taking into account the marbling, it's taking into account the fat, and it's taking into account the ribeye.
Right.
And his just soars past his competition. The average is 113 and he's 157.
There we go.
So what that's telling you is he's gaining much more money on what's under that hide.
Eat his steers.
Eat his steers.
Exactly.
Eat his
Exactly.
steers.
There you go, guys.
And then when you're keeping the females, when you're breeding it back to a bull, look at what those females are producing under that hide as well.
That's right. So this is a major EPD for producers that's raising beef to sell off the farm.
Stop and think. We're talking steers. What's his daughter's going to be looking like?
Right.
That's going to be keeping as replacements. Now you've got that genetic package that's going to be on your farm for the next 10 or 15 years that have got those kind of genetics behind them and everything. So when you start talking about what's the value of a bull, what's the value of a cow, you got to start looking at genetically how is it going to change your operation through several generations. You know, the 18-year-old cow that we got on the farm we're talking about, we have got, my gosh, she's given us 16 calves. You know, and when you're talking about multiple generations of her influence on the farm, as well as what we've sold and off her and everything, and plus she's the biggest pet on the farm too. So it's just.
And in this crazy time that we live in, I mean, you guys have seen what meat prices are at the store, and fertilizer bills, gas prices, everything. It's going to get to the point where people are just going to buy their beef off these farms.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we've talked about that before here on our channel too. Guys, you go to Walmart and you pick up the cheapest pack of hamburger you can find. If you do your research and you find out what that animal looks like before it got into that package, or where it come from before it got into that package, guys, we can promise you they didn't live a kind of lifestyle like these right here are living. Yeah. They live rough, guys, and the quality of the animal is just not there. That's why you get that cheap price when you go to these Costco's and Walmarts and Kroger's. And we're not that, because they sell the grade A beef too. But when you catch your meat on sale, they're not selling the prime stuff, guys.
That's for a reason. That's for a reason.
The prime stuff, there's a whole lot of number crunching, like we talked about, behind that to achieve that kind of animal.
Yeah. And even when you go to a steakhouse, you know, we've all ate a steak that we didn't care much for, and then we've ate a really good one, and you're like, what's the difference? It's what's under that hide.
That right there is the difference, guys.
Yeah.
It is the what is under that skin, and what's under that skin is exactly what's on that piece of paper right there, guys.
There will come a time when anything that's marketed in this country through a meat counter will be traced back to a particular farm.
Oh yeah.
And right now we've got the capability of doing it. We've just not pushed through it. But as a producer, we should be striving to produce the absolute very best product leaving there, the same as if we had our initials stamped on the side of these animals right here. That's or the farm name. You know, when it leaves here, it should have the highest quality that you could possibly put in one. And if you can start pushing those animals that direction now, each year make them genetically better than the crop before, then you're moving toward that goal. So one of these days, if it does come down as law that you know, Tyler Morgan, Ed Morgan has got to have their name following that animal all the way through slaughter, it's going to have, you know, something tremendous. They always said that in every John Deere dealership there was a plaque somewhere that says, I will never put my name on anything that does not have the very best that is within me, and that was signed John Deere.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, Penny Pincher Farm animal is going to have your signature on it when it leaves here.
That's right.
And anybody that watches these videos, you can see these cattle are as happy as can be. They're not stressed. They're getting all they want to eat. They're getting to do what God created them to do.
That's right.
And when you turn really nice animals and you mix them with nice cows and you get them on grass, look at what you're buying. Look at what you're getting.
That's right. All right, guys, we're going to end this part of the video, but we're going to have another one coming up right behind this one, guys, so stick in with us. Guys, watch this video more than once. Really digest what these guys have said to you. Like I said, a wealth of knowledge, guys, and get past the education part of it. We all struggle with wanting to learn more, but it's worth it, guys. When it comes to putting dollar bills in your pocket, it's worth it.
I'll leave you with one quote. I heard from a guy who is one of the most brilliant cattle people in the whole state, and he told me this week, and he studies these things for a living. That's what he does. He said, we actually don't know as much about cattle as we do. And he said, there is actually going to be a lot more that we learn about cattle than what we've even discovered.
That's right.
And we have to learn every single day.
That's right. That's it. Well, guys, we're going to cut it off right there. Stay tuned. We got another video coming behind this one. Everybody stick with us. Have a good day.